In this new section, we are going to focus on the user manager module. So first we have to make the layout with HTML and CSS, but we are working with adminLTE template. We have all the resources handy to make it work and take tags that we need according to the template is offering us through the classes. So let's begin to open the folder views, the model users. We have worked before on this. We made a basic structure according to the blank page offered by adminLTE template to the construction of the views. Okay, if we go to this user page, we have this title, we have the breadcrumb. If you click home page, you can go back to the home page, but we have to set it in all the pages. So we start with the home page and the user one, we just put it there. Next, we are going to update the href, so you can go back to the home page from the breadcrumb. Okay, we go back to the user page and we find this structure with this title, and you can toggle the box or you can delete it, but we're not interested in this because we need to create a table where the user can list, or the admin could go in and create users, modify users, and activate or deactivate them. So for that, we are going to organize the main content. This main content, it has by default a class called content. Let's delete this comment and this one. And we have another class by default called box, where inside it we have this box header, okay, and we have this with border class. This border is this top gray area that highlights the box. Okay, so let's delete this box title. We don't need it. And let's check what can I do with this box header. It opens here and close here because then is the box body. So let's delete this box header content. And we are going to add, if I refresh, sorry, we have nothing here. So I'm going to add a button with the class btn primary, and we are going to add an attribute called data toggle, and inside it model to open a model window. With this data target, we are going to open the pop-up with the model add user. Okay, and here we're going to put the button title. That will be add user. So if I refresh, here is the button where when I click it, open a form to modify or add new users. So this box body is to put the body of our page, our user page. Okay, I just deleted this. So I refresh, I can put inside this the table. So um, we are going to list all of the users that we have on the database. So let's check here in tables. We have simple tables or data tables. This is uh, for data, for organizing data. I like to work with this one because it has ranges. Okay, and we have the search box. We can find something by letters. We have a pager with next and previous, and we have the filters, the ascending or descending organizer. So I need to do something with the table. We have to create a div with the class box so I can put the table inside it. Then I'm going to create another div. No, sorry. No, we are not doing that. Just let's make the table again. Okay, so the box body is enough for that. So let's create table, and the table will have table class, table bordered, table stripped. These classes I'm taking are classes from the plugin Datatable that we are going to create. Okay, now we are going just to make the HTML layout. So this is the header of the table. We are going to create a row with the following columns: th. This is where the item number is going to be. Then we are going to put the name of the user. Then it will be the username or the nickname. Then we are going to put the picture. We are not going to put password there. So this is the kind of profile or the role. This is the state or the status, if it's active or inactive or inactive. And this is the last login, and then actions. If I refresh, so look how is this working. Okay, very good. Now we are going to create the body of the table. So T body, you open close the tag, and the body has to be with the same lines. So here's the row, and the columns will be with the TD tags, different than the TH that we have in the header of the table. So we are going to put the number 1 for this row as a name, admin user, then as a nickname, admin. In this picture, we are just using the anonymous with the class img thumbnail with a width of 40 pixels. The profile will be administrator, and here we are going to put a button that the user is activated. So BTN success is for activated, and in this case is for the last login. We just put date and time, and the actions will be to delete or modify this user. So let's add a div with the class btn group. We are going to put 2 buttons here. So the first one will be Okay, we're not going to put text. We just want to create an icon. So it will be with the class pencil. So it will be to edit the user. And we use the class btn warning. It will be yellow color. And the second one, in this case, it will be btn danger, and is red. And this is times is to delete the user. Okay, so in this case we are going to have one row. I'm not bringing it from the database, I'm just putting it here. Okay, we can create more rows. We can use this same tr and duplicate. So if I refresh, I have a second row. So the classes comes with these classes. These classes are from Bootstrap, not from Datatable. If you go to the Bootstrap page, to Bootstrap 3 with W3 schools, and you go to the tables section. Let me find it, and it's over here. It shows what can you show with these classes. The class strip to combine these colors, okay, gray and white, to combine the rows. And let me duplicate this. Okay, if you see, it is stripped to differentiate them. Okay, we have another class over here, table border, and this is the one that we can add to visualize these borders here. Perfect. We have the layout for the table with some examples of the users. In this case are fictional. Okay, so this is how it will work when we bring data from the database. So if the button is not activated, we just change this for btn danger, and inside deactivated. So this will be the appearance when the user is deactivated. So we just added the btn access. The button will be really big. So this is the reason why we just add this btn xs class. So when we are creating add user, we create a modal window or a pop-up. So let's create to show the form, and we can add a new user. So we are going to add it here in the bottom area. Okay, if you want, you can delete this box footer and the comments, because we don't need them. Okay, this content, uh, this this is all the layout we need. If I refresh, we just have the table with the content I just added. So I want to add a modal window to add a new user. So let's put a comment to separate the top area with the model box. Okay, this, if you go to these examples and put, okay, no, let me check layout. No, it's not this one. Here it is, UI elements. You have this model box, and it is the same as Bootstrap. So we are going to copy this, or we can check this because it's the same we are going to add. Okay, so if you want to create a model box, you can take this example. So let me copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So what do we have to do? We have to put the same ID that is linking our model. So is this one, the data target, and I copy and paste it here. So when doing this, I click here and it opens the model box, and the same we have in Bootstrap and adminLTE. So we just put the this change this button primary to make it blue. If I refresh, so it will be blue. Okay, inside this model we are going to organize it to make a form, okay, in the next class. So keeping on building the manager user module, we left it on adding a form in this model box so we can add a new user. So let's go back to the model box. Let's check how Bootstrap is making it, and according to the tags we have, we are going to discover how we can work this. So let me put these spaces to make it better. Okay, this div has the class fade, and it makes the effect to make the fade when you click on it and it opens. And then the role dialog, then the class model dialog, and the class model content. These tags are the open and close the model dialog, this model content, and there we have three blocks: the model header, okay, and the model body and model footer. Okay, it's the bottom area. So we can work with this for the things we want to do. So I would like to, the model title would be add user. Okay, very good. I also would have, for example, put this header. Okay, let me refresh. I would like to personalize this with this div with an inline style. I want the background would be the blue background. Where can I take this here? We go to UI elements, and then you have the hexadecimal color that we can copy it, and here we paste it here. This is the base, and the text will be color white. If I refresh and I click on the model, here's the top area with the blue background. Okay, very good. We go to the model body. Let's delete this and replace it for a div with the class box body. and inside it we are going to build a form. We are going to use a div with the class form group. These are Bootstrap 3 classes to design forms. Inside here we are going to write a div with the class input group. Look, this plugin, this Bootstrap plugin from Sublime Text, it shows the classes that are from Bootstrap and what can you use. This span is going with a class input group add-on, and inside this span we are going to put an icon with the class var space var user. Okay, this is, and here we are going to put the input type text. The name is going to be new name, yeah, because we are creating a new one. The placeholder will be insert name, and this will be a required input or a required field. And we need to add the Bootstrap class for control, and the input could be a little bit larger, so input LG. So this is the first entry we have, so just go to there. So if we refresh, here is the layout. So this same entry we are going to copy and we can paste it. So you can put some comments to identify what it is. An entry for this for name. Okay, this one will be entry for the user. So here you can put key. This will be for the password. It will be the primary key, and this will be new name, new user, and the placeholder will be add user or type user. This will be the entry for the password. This will be type a password, and this file will be lock. Okay, this is a new password. Okay, this will be password. Okay, let's refresh, and here it is. This is the key for the user and the lock for the password. Now we are going to add the entry to select the profile. We can copy this, but we need to modify the input. So we have to change it for instead of a select. So we can add the profiles that are available to choose. It will be the name, it will be new profile. The icon could be users, and we need to add a Bootstrap class form control input LG. Okay. Okay, inside this select, I'm going to put the options to select the profile. The first one will be empty, and it will be select profile, and the other ones are the profiles that we're going to set. This one, it will be the administrator, this first one. The second one will be the special profile that will create or control the stock, and the seller profile. These are our profiles, or the profiles we are going to create. If you want to create more, you can do it. We refresh, add user, and select the profile. Then we are going to add the input file for the picture in case you want to update or upload the picture. So let's copy this as an example or as a base, and we can delete this. We just leave the form group. So we create this div with the class panel, text uppercase, so it converts everything to uppercase, or you can write it uh, by yourself. You don't need the class. And then we just add an input type file. We are going to add an ID called new picture and a name that says new picture. Okay, we use the ID so we can work with JavaScript later. So we just put a paragraph with the class help block. It's an instruction for the weight of the picture. So it will be a maximum of 200 megabytes. And here we are going to put an image. If you don't have any picture, this will be the default picture. Okay, we add the class img thumbnail, and we can set the width with 100 pixels, and it takes always this width. So let's refresh, and here is the layout to add a new user. So you can put the username, select the profile, and you can upload a new picture, but if you don't, you take this anonymous one. Okay, we need another button, so this we can use this one, the btn default, and we pull left. That will be close the button or go out, I don't know, or yes, close. And in this case, we are going to submit all the form thing. So if we have several buttons, we need to specify that the last button will be the type submit, and the other ones will be a generic button. So we put the type button, and the other one will be with the type submit and the class btn btn primary, and then the name save changes. Okay, we refresh, and this will be our model box. So we can go out, or we can close it, or we can save the changes. If I have this form, I need to close we need to close the form tag. So it will be inside this, okay, we can put more comments so we can differentiate where we are. So in this, we can put a model header. Then will be the body, the model body, and then we have the footer body, or sorry, the model footer. Now, if we have this button uh, inside the footer, so it has to be a form tag open here after the model content. So because um, we are encapsulating all this content here. So, and before we end the tag model content, we close the form tag. Okay, here is the layout. So we just put here the role of form that is from Bootstrap, the method post, and we are going to use images and files, so we have to put this attribute called enctype multipart / form data. It differentiates the plain data from files. Okay, it has to be written the same. Okay, multipart / form data. Okay, we are going to use the type file input. Okay, these are form, and now we need to make with PHP how to save the changes. But before that, I would like to apply the data table the to this layout. This plugin will help me to add what I showed you before, the filters, the search box, the pagination. Okay, we are going to do that in the next class. Let's go inside the Datatable plugin that will help us to get better appearance on the tables. If we go to adminLTE template to the section data tables, so it shows two types of tables with these filters, with the pagers, and this one with all these things, the pagers, the search, and the ranges. Okay, I'm going to go to open this. So I check what classes and what plugins they are using with data table. So let me import the adminLTE here, the adminLTE folder, and we go to section tables inside pages, and we open data.html. If I check this, when you have this data table comment, and this link will be the style sheet. So we are going to copy this with the comment, and we are going to template.php on our project, and we are going to where we have these CSS plugins, we need to change this path with views and all this stuff. Okay, and then if I go to search with data table, we find the JavaScript files, we copy this, and we paste it here in the plugins the JavaScript plugins after the adminLTE app, and we change the route or the path. Very good. It doesn't mean that it will work. No, I have to activate this table through JavaScript. So let's go to users PHP, and here we are going to create another class called tables. It doesn't matter. And with this class, I'm going to add the Datatable plugin. So we have to go to the template.js. If you don't have it, you can create it. So we can add this data table, and we call this class that we created tables. And to activate the plugin, we just call it with this data table and parentheses. So it will trigger all the tables with this class dot tables. So I need to clear the cache. Okay. Here I refresh, and it shows everything that we need. Okay. And all the filters to order. Okay, it's not going to change something because we have the same names. So we have our data table plugin working. So from here is adminLTE template is going until here. But now we have to investigate about the plugin if we want to do something better. Okay, if you want to put it in your language, you can go to data table page, and then you can search in manuals. You can change the the language like this. You open curly braces, and we just write language, so we can choose our language. Okay, now you can add some um, properties that you can find there in the data table page. In this case, will be in Spanish, but you can set it in your language. You can look for it, or you can edit by yourself with these properties that I'm highlighting here. For example, this info filter, or all the stuff. If I go back and refresh, everything goes to the language I want to set. So it is anterior and siguiente. It will be previous and next. Now, if I want to check this, I want to check this in a mobile phone. I'm going to activate this in 320 pixels. You see what happens with the table. It it doesn't fit, and it loses some data. Okay, we don't see the buttons, we don't see uh, the profiles. So if we want to put it responsive, we go to tables here. We need to use a class called table responsive. What it does, this class, let me check, or let me show you. Okay, okay, this what it does is add and scroll so you can uh, view everything. It's a good option. Let's try it so you can see how it's going to work. Okay, we can put table responsive before the class we created. If I refresh, it's not working. Okay, let me. Okay, adminLTE is blocking this class or the data table. So what do we have to do? Just researching about the Datatable plugin. It offers another kind of stuff or classes. Okay, let me go back here to template. adminLTE, it has everything here in these folders. If I go to Bower Components and I find the folder datatables.net, datatables.net BS from Bootstrap. So in these folders, there are no files with responsive table layout. So I went to the official page and I added some files. So for the CSS, I'm going to add a new file. Let me go there. Is responsive.bootstrap.min.css. I copy it. I'm going to the POS system, Power Components, Tables net PS. Inside the folder CSS, I'm going to paste it here. It's a new plugin that we don't have in adminLTE, sorry. And I'm going to paste it here because it is the responsive thing and is related to the Bootstrap plugin from that table. So I need to go to the JS and I need to add another file here about the responsive again. Okay, let me copy two files. I'm going to views, Power Components, data table, and the data tables net BS data tables responsive and responsive bootstrap. And just let's copy paste them. Copy paste. Okay, Power Component, JS. Okay, here it is. What do we have? These we have to link them, link the files, the new files inside the template. Okay, so here let's do this. We just copy in the JavaScript section. We are going to paste them that tables responsive dot min dot js and responsive bootstrap min dot js. And in the CSS section, we paste the other one. It will be responsive bootstrap.min.css. And I refresh, and this is not working because it's not because we have cache. Or let's check. And it is because we don't have to put this table responsive class. It will be the DT responsive, and this is the jQuery that's table class that will be taken. And here is it adds some buttons to toggle the information, and it shows in a better way in a responsive design. I don't like it with the scroll. It's really annoying because we have to scroll, and if it's a very long table, it will be painful. But in this case, it will be better, um, and I can put more data, and it doesn't matter if it's really long. Okay, these are these resources to make it better. If I go to the tablet view, it doesn't need the buttons, and the layout is like the desktop. Okay, you see, there's no problem, and the same in the laptop. In the only time that we have these buttons, it will be in the mobile version. And in this case, we can add more users in the system. Let's learn how to add users to our POS system. In this moment, we already have the table organized with sample information. It's not the real one brought from the database. It was just to make the layout of our page. Now we can save this layout as a template because we will need this to make other pages later, okay, that we are going to create for adding products, categories. So let's save this users.html.php. Okay, I want to make a little change. Let's open users.php, and in the first column, uh, we need to add an inline style because it is only numbers, and it has a width too big. So let's set width to 10 pixels. We refresh, and if you see here, it is the width is smaller. And we copy this and put it here in the template we just saved. Okay. Now let's focus on users.php. In users.php, we have the form, so we can add a new user and save it in the database. This form is here in the modal box. So what I'm going to do is, before closing the form tag, we are going to create a PHP object so we can execute the method that will allow us to save the user. So here we just create this object, so create user, and it's going to instance the class user controller. Okay, so this class we are going to execute the method that we that is going to save the users. So ctr create user, so it's in singular because we just create one. So now we have to make a filter so it's not executing in a continuous way. So let's close these windows. Okay. Okay, this is the user controller. I want to make a little observation that a student made before in other courses. Okay, I told you that controllers in their methods, when they are receiving parameters, okay, let's write it like with the method syntax inside parentheses. Because of the php.ini of some servers, it is mandatory to specify that this method becomes static. Okay? If your server doesn't require this, it's not a problem to add this. It won't prompt an error. If you leave it without the word static, it may work, and with the word static, it will work for sure with no conflict. There are servers like GoDaddy that will show you errors in PHP log, like an error console for PHP, where all your methods must be static because of the PHP init configuration, even if the method doesn't have parameters. Okay, it happened before when we finished the course. People start writing that it is not working, there are a lot of errors that they don't understand why, but you just have to add the word static to all your methods because that it is what the console says. They must be static methods, all methods that are being executed in the system. So to avoid file to file, adding the word static, I prefer to say it now, and everything will work like a charm with no errors and no problems, no matter if you use GoDaddy or other servers. So let's put the word in all the methods even if they don't have parameters. Okay, for the controllers, let's see what have we done before. So let's change it here. In this case, for the template, we have to add it here. And for models in connection, we have this one. Okay, in this one we already put the static because uh, we talked about the parameters, but in this case we are going to put it in all just to avoid the conflict. Okay, we have this error because it's executing this create user that is not defined. Okay, here I have another detail. When we just finish to return the database connection, so we have to close it and put it null. The object could be null, so it's not saving the instance of connection. So the return stops the sentence of the code, but it's better. It's a good practice to do this to close the connection. Okay, let's continue here in this method. So we just create the user. It could be register, user register. So in the controller, we are going to put static public function ctr create user. The same as I wrote in the view. Okay. Now just put the filter if um, is set uh, this variable type post mm, called new user, for example, the one I have in my form. So if this variable post is set, we need to execute this method with this variable. Okay, could be any, or you can include the three of them. Now we are going to check and validate with a preg match with an regular expression, and we will allow a character characters for the numbers. You can use we are going to allow, for example, the A to C in logscap, and special characters like this one. This is for Spanish, but if you have yours in your language, it needs you need to look for them, and we add spaces. So you can put, for example, Juan and then Fernando, this the first name and the second name. We put this one to validate the name. Okay, for the new name, then we add another one. We don't need this one with special characters, and this one will be for new user. This is for the username, and then for the password, and we just allow that the password has only A to C and alphanumeric. What happens if the information is not valid? Okay, we just put the else and we put an equal, and we just put an script to pop up an alert. Okay, we are going to use a plugin. Let's look for it. Sweet alert, and it is in its version 2. I I have been working with the first version, but we are going to show the version 2. And this is a sweet alert that is better than the one I just show you. And it is really easy. Just copy this, and we are going to use this CDN. We can copy this so we can link it, and it takes everything. It takes the CSS and the JavaScript. Okay, you can use this one, or you can copy this and put it in a local mode in your system. For example, if this root loses the link or is unavailable, you can use it from your local machine. Okay, so I want to copy it. So we create a new file, we paste it, and we are going to save it, for example, in Power Components or in the folder, the plugins folder. I will save it here. New folder, Sweet Alert 2. And here I'm going to save this as the same name, Sweet Alert 2 .all.js. Save as, and views, Sweet Alert, and Control V. Okay, so it will be now I have to make the link. So after the data table, just let's add the comment and put Sweet Alert in its version 2. And with this, I can copy it and then change the CRC, the source, and the path will be plugins Sweet Alert 2, and the file would be, let's copy and paste it here. Okay, escape to close that um, window, and we already have this set. Okay, we can use it when it's not correct information. So let's write swal, and with curly braces we are going to use these properties. This is the one I want to copy. Okay, the first is type. So this is the type error. And we put a comma. The title, we can put here the user can't go blank, or special characters. Okay, show confirm button, we put it true, then confirm button text, and it will say close, then we put close on confirm, and this is false, and this is the last one, so we have to uh, leave it without a comma, and we finish with a parenthesis, and we put an action that is then. Okay, double parenthesis and result, and then we put a like an arrow to open and close curly braces. Okay, this is the code. So if result in its value, so we are going to write window location dot location users to reload the page. Okay, it means that if we have special characters or um, something that we are not allowing, so it will say close, and when you close it, it will redirect to the user page. Okay, let's use special characters here. Select profile and let's do this. Okay, we have this one, this alert, but the title is not put, is with only one T. Okay, now let's refresh. Uh, so if we close it, it the page, reloads the page. So let's try it again. Let's, okay, now we have the title. The user can go blank or empty and use special characters. Okay, this is a sweet alert that is really good for what we're doing. So what happens if the information is valid? So we put the table users. We need to save some information inside it. So the variable date data, the properties are name is the one that received the post. So let's copy here and paste it. Then we are going to save user is the one that receives the variable post new user, and this one is the one that receives the new password. And then we are going to save the profile. Okay. By now we can do this. We will talk about the picture later. Okay, here let's put an answer here to our user model where MDL is going to login user or add user. So the table and the parameters of data. If the answer is okay, we can use a sweet alert for, let's copy paste this one with the following information. This is a type success alert, and it will say that the user was saved successfully. So when we finished, we go back again and reload the user page. So let's go back to the model. Let's add user registration, or the one we just did, and we put this method MDL adding user. So we create the STMT object, and we are going to insert into the table name, user, password, and profile. And then we put the values. It's the same, but with semicolon. Sorry, with colons. So they become a parameter. We close the parentheses and semicolon, and we are going to link the parameters. The, the bin parent for nombre and datos nombre is the same, okay? If this execute uh, okay, we return the okay, and else just we return error. We close it and we put the object null. So here is the register with the insert. Let's try it. We refresh. This Juan Fernando Urrego. Juan, 1, 1, 2, 3. Profile special, and we just save. The user has been successfully saved. And if we go to the database, we have the new register. Let's learn how to add a picture for the user in just in case we want to upload a photo too when we are creating a user. So I'm going to use these adminLTE resources, and it's in this root, and it has these avatars or people pictures. So these avatars are in PNG and the pictures are in JPJ. Sorry, JPG. So we are going to add this user, Ana Maria Valencia. The user is going to be Ana, and the password Ana123, and it's a seller. If I select this picture, so we go to sham2, htdocs, pos, views, dist, img, and I would like to be this picture. So if I select this, I want to replace This picture I have for default, by default, and we need to go to JavaScript to make this. We have this one. Let's close this one and just move this one, and we have this template.php because I need to link a JavaScript file that we will need to personalize. So it will be inside views. We have another dist, the JS, but this one, this when I have this template.js, I'm going to create another users.js. That will be the JavaScript for this particular page, this user page. And now we are going to make the link users.js. So now I can close the template.php, and we just move this to here. So first we are going to upload the so the comments are the com section, and you just put the tab, and that's it. So now we are going to take this input that help us to upload the picture or to select the picture. It has an ID called new photo. Okay, let's change it better and put it in a class. Okay, instead of an ID, because this one is going to help us to edit the user. So we are going to open a model box where the information is saved, so we can use the same class. Okay, we just copy this class and put it here. When the input is changed, so we use this change, we are going to execute a function, and this function will do, we are going to create a variable called imagen, img, or image, and to put this, so the we need to put the property files, and it's only for the input file. Let's do this. Control Shift Q to make the console. We update. We just clear cache. We add user. We inspect the console, and we select a picture, and it brings a lot of properties of where in the zero index of this file. If I get the index 0, because it's only a picture, now I can take, so let's do it again. Now I can take the properties, the name, the last modified date, the size, what else, the type, this JPEG, the size is 6 kilobytes, that are kilobytes. Okay, remember I will explain. 1 kilobyte is the same as 1000 bytes. Okay, and for example, 1 megabyte is the same as 1000 kilobytes, and 1 gigabyte is 1000 megabytes, and 1 terabyte is the same as 1000 gigabytes. Okay, if here is 6434, it is because 6.4 kilobytes. Okay, why do I need to do this? Because if I make a filter where the file can weight more than 200 megabytes, so it means that it can be more than 200, 2000 200,000 kilobytes. So it needs to put, okay, it will be 200 million bytes. Okay, let's go back. There are 200 megabytes limit. So if I put it in kilobytes, if 1 megabyte is 1000, sorry, 100, okay, no, sorry, is 200,000 kilobytes. So it will be 2,000 million bytes. So we need to avoid that this file will be more than this, because JavaScript is working only in bytes. Okay, let's validate the format, and the format should be only PNG or JPG. If the image in its type is different than image slash JPEG, this is what is showing here in the console, it means that it's not JPEG or JPG. And we do the same for PNG. So if it's different than these two, PNG or JPEG, we have to clean the input. So new photo, val empty, and we put an alert, a sweet alert, and we put error to uploading the image, and the image must be in JPG or PNG, type error, and the confirm button text is close. I refresh, I add the user, so let's clear cache, and let's use another kind of file. For example, I have a PDF, so it prompts the error, and it says what I just told you before. And if I close it, the input is reset. And the same we are going to do with the size, the file size. So with an else if, we can ask if the image type size, the image size is more than 200 200,000 200 million, okay, 200 million, it equals to 200 megabytes. But I think 200 megabytes is too much weight. um, so I think it's better to put it less than 200. Maybe we can put 2 megabytes, so we don't overload our server, so we can put only 2 megabytes. So that will be like 2000 kilobytes or 2 million kilobytes, 2 million bytes, sorry. Okay, so we just delete two zeros. And if I put the dots just to identify, but we don't use the dots. Okay, if the image size is more than 2 megabytes, we put another alert. We clean the input, and we put the image can't wait more than 2 megabytes. Sorry. If these all filters are passed, we have to put the new file reader is is a JavaScript class to make file reading. So we are going to use a method to this variable datos imagen image data. So we read as data URL and image, and I could do the same when we upload the datos imagen or image data. We put the action on from jQuery, and we put load. When it's loaded, we put a function with a parameter event. When it's loaded, I'm going to create a root for the image. So we are going to save the event, the target, and its result. So now I'm going to put the img tag. Okay, let me here this. Let me copy this, and I have to replace it. We put a class called preview, and this class we are going to put it here in JavaScript. In the attribute source, I can put the image root. Okay, easy. Let's try. Okay, we put another image more than two 2 megas, and it says it prompts the error that it can be more than 2 megas. Now we can put here the stdocs. I'm the POS system views this img and this png, and the picture it is in our HTML in our layout. JavaScript takes this file and it encodes uh, in base 64. Okay, let's check this, and we can open it. Um, copying the link address. This is all the photo coded in a language base 64, and is not printed right away, and it is really good tool. Okay, now what we can do is we need to receive a variable file. We will do in next class. Continuing with the uploading of the picture of the user that we are saving, what we need to finish, we can point to the picture and it's saved in our form. We can save name, user, password, and when we click save, it could be saved in our server in this folder, the folder users inside views, and the folder can take the name of the user. And additionally, we can put the root in our database. Let's try it. We have this attribute name in this input type file with this is the name of the dollar sign new file. We we put the variable post, the so we can put validate image here. So we can do it through isset with the variable dollar sign files. This will be as the same name in this attribute name in the HTML nueva foto. To validate correctly this the temporal name. So if I cancel this, or let's make a comment here, and I ask with a var dump that returns these same dollar sign files with the temporal name, TMP name. Okay, I need to know what happens with this variable, so I'm not going to save that inside the database. So let's check Julio Gomez. We select administrator, Julio 123 for password, and we save. And if I go to here, this is this is the answer, and it brings the temporal file. So what am I going to do with this file? For example, I want the images always be saved in 500 pixels for 500 pixels. So the controller needs to trim the picture. Okay, let's do the following. Let's take with this method list from PHP called list. It allow us to create an array with these variables or these properties. Okay, this list I'm going to apply it to get image size. Okay, and this width and height I'm going to apply it to this image, this temporal name. Okay, to understand it better, I'm going to put it here inside this bar dump, and I'm going to make a comment here. So let's check what is going to bring. We just refresh, add user, and we have an error. There's a function that is not well written. So let's check this. Okay, it's because I put it with the double S. It's get image size. We refresh and we have the array, and in the zero it has the width and height of the picture in its index 1. So I'm taking the index 0 in the property width or ancho, and the height will be the index 2. So we are doing a new width with the value 500 and the new height with the value 500. So I can set the image to 500. Okay. Next step, we have to create the folder or the directory we want to save the photo. okay, the photo of the user. We create a variable directory, and we put the root where I want to create the directory or the folder. And what name is going to be for this folder? We are going to concatenate. Remember that PHP uses the dot or the period to concatenate. And in this case, we just use the JavaScript method mkdir, and the first parameter will be the root of the folder, and then the permissions 0755, that it will be for written uh, to write inside the folders. So now we create this user Julio. Let's refresh. Okay, it doesn't show anything because I already deleted the bar dump. Okay, let's delete this folder that has been created with this mkdir, and now let's add the picture inside the folder. For this, we are going to do some methods depending on what kind of picture it is, because it depends if it's PNG or JPG. Okay, according to the image, we apply different PHP function. So in this case, if uh, variable the files, the dollar sign files, new picture, and the type, it's equal to image slash JPEG. So it does something. In this case, is save the image inside the folder. First, we set the name for the folder. So it will be the root views slash img users slash. We concatenate the folder with the name of the user dot slash dot the name of the file. In this case, we are going to put a random numbers between okay bet between 0, okay, between numbers and 100 or 999. Okay, it could make a different name. So this what it does, the empty rand, it randomizes the numbers. So we put this variable here and we concatenate the extension .jpg. So having this root, we have to trim the image. We need the source and the destiny. So we are going to do it with image create from JPEG. And here we put, we put the temporal file. We create a new file, and in destiny image create through true color. So when we trim the source file, we set the height, the width and height. So we copy this new width and new height. it is 500. Now we create another method, image copy resized, and this is the one that is adjusting the image the to the size I'm doing. So this method has some parameters we need to understand. Okay, let me explain this. So this is the destiny image. So we put the destiny where the new image is going to be saved. So what is the source image? We put the root of this temporal name. Okay, so the cut is going to be from the x0, and the same for the height, or the point in the xj y, sorry. So the next one, it will be for the source image, the source image for the y axis, and this one, it will be the destiny width, destiny height, and the source height. Where do we get this from? This, so it will be the ancho, it will be the width from the source image, and this will be the height. Okay, with this we just need to do the last thing is to save the picture in the root. So this method is image jpeg. So $destiny, where the image trimmed is, and then the variable ruta, and we create, okay, let's try it. We create a folder with the name of the user we are saving, Julio Gomez. The username is Julio123, and the profile will be seller. So first we put this because we are doing the validation with JPG, and we save. We go to check inside here. Here is the folder and the picture. Here is the picture. Now the picture has um, the size here. Let me check. Okay, let's check the details, dimensions, and it's 500 for 500. If the picture it is less than this, um, we are watching this picture in a distance that is not bad because it's a small, so we don't need a bigger, and is not taking a lot of space in the server. It is 33 kilobytes. It's nothing. So we can save a lot of pictures like this. Okay, the root should be in the database. So we have to go here and do this, but we need to make the validation first before in PNG. So we change here image/PNG, and we change the method from JPG. We need to change these methods to PNG in both of them, and the file will be changed to PNG as well. So we are validating the two options. So we go back here and we disable the comments, or uncomment, and we are going to pass the root variable. This one is the one that brings the root to the file. So this root has to be before, so it doesn't prompt an error. So let's put it empty before validating the image. If there's no root here, it goes there with the empty space. Okay, but I'm validating here if it's JPG or PNG. In our model, we have to set ruta and ruta here, and we just put another parameter, and we put ruta to save ruta in the user. So now let's try add user. We put Julio Gomez, username Julio, Julio123, seller, and we select the picture and save user. Okay, there is no alert, and I think we did, or I did something wrong. Okay, now I know what happened. Because I don't have this column uh, called ruta, and it is called photo. So we have to change it back. Here we just put the column photo, and here photo, and in this case we are receiving. Okay, we can change it here so you don't mess that. So we save the variable ruta in this photo. So we do it again. Julio Gomez, Julio, Julio123, select profile vendedor, that is a seller, and now it works. Okay, we close and we go to the database, and this is the root with the file 786. Let's check. Here is. These two, I can delete them because it was the tryout. I can delete, so I just leave this file in the database. As a security measure, it is really important to encrypt the passwords of the users that are registering inside the system. For this, we will do the following. In the same controller, when we send the information data that will be stored in the database, I won't send the password as the user writes it in the input. Instead, we will make an encrypt filter. We will encrypt it. So what it saves in the password will be an alphanumeric and special characters in order to make hacking almost impossible. Okay? For that, we need to create a variable called encrypt, or you can put the name you want. And I will use the function crypt from PHP that has two parameters. The parameter is the value I'm going to encrypt. Okay, this is the variable post new password, and then we need to put as a parameter the salt. It is the security measure that will encrypt or involve our string This parameter salt is optional, and the function crypt it creates a weak password without salt. So it is really important to use this parameter salt. What kind of salt we can we use? So we can generate a really nice encrypted password. It supports multiple types of hash that encapsulates that string. So the kind of hash or the types of hash, uh, the constant are in set in 0 or 1. I will use the salt I usually use, that it generates for the base of the hash. The hash and salt join together to encrypt the password. So I will use the crypt blowfish, is one of the most safe password, the safest, I would say. And I will encrypt in here. I will put it here in as a parameter here. Just paste it here. So this parameter is the salt. Is a combination of characters. So you understand it. So you can understand it better. This is the text I will encrypt, and this is the capsule we are going to use. What it does, this capsule, is involve this password in these serial characters. So if we want to decipher, we will need to use the same hash to decrypt it, to to match with the database password we saved. Okay, so we are going to send this post variable, and inside the database is it won't show these parameters I'm showing. So let's try Ana Gonzalez, the user Ana, and the password is Ana123. We select the picture and we save the user. The user has been created, and and the password, it is camouflaged or hidden, protected here inside this serial of characters. How can I access the system using this password? Let's log out and we go back again, and Anna123. If I'm using the right password, Anna123, it doesn't match with this password. So I need, when I'm doing the exercise of going inside the system to log in, I need to compare this password, this answer password, with the post variable. So I'm going to take the encrypt variable to copy, and we paste it here. And we encapsulate, or if I wrote this, so encrypt will be equal to the answer of the database. Okay, in this case we can allow the access. Let's refresh Anna123, log in, and I can log into the system. Okay, this is the same as we have saved here, because we are using the same hash. Okay, we just learned how to encrypt the password and we protect our database. Let's create a series of session variables we will need so we can identify what user is accessing the system or the user who has access to the system. Okay, so we use the user Anna to make the example and access the system. So if I access with this user in this top area, must say Ana or Ana Gonzalez, her full name, and show her thumbnail picture in case she has a picture saved like this. So to do this, we need to work with session variables. We already created a session variable that helps us to know if someone is logged in or not. If this variable doesn't exist, the user is out of the system. Okay. Remember, when you click on logout, you destroy the session. And if I try to access to the home page, I can't do it if the session variable wasn't created. And this variable is created only when the user logs in with user and password. This is the reason why we can enter to the private content. Now, how can I invoke the name, the picture, and some details of the user? I could create a series of variables. So I can create everything from the database, for example, the session ID, and it is that comes in answer in the column ID. I can create another session variable called name. Okay, I could create another one for user, another one for the picture, and another one for the profile. Perfect. With this, I could work right now in other pages because the session or the session variable is created. It was created, sorry. Let's minimize this and we go to modules and header. In header, I can go to find where I'm putting the username. This is user admin. I could with PHP tag make an echo to print the session variable called name, the one I just created here. Let me show you. It has to be the same name, okay? And I will do the same with the picture. So here, where is the root of the picture? I could open a PHP tag. Okay, let's clarify something. If a user doesn't want to put a picture, so he will use the default image. So let's create here a PHP tag with this condition. If the variable session picture is different than empty, it's because it has a root in the database like these two users. Okay, and if it comes empty, it's because there's nothing. So now I put an echo to print this img tag and concatenate in the attribute source dot that session variable called picture. But if it comes empty, I can print this img tag with the default picture like this. Okay, let me delete this. Very good. With this, when you log in, the header will show the name and the picture of the user who's accessing. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, okay. Let's log in with Anna123, and look that I already have Ana Gonzalez and with its picture. I could do the same with Julio, but Julio hasn't been with the encrypted password. So we are going to work with Ana Gonzalez. Let's select the users that are already registered in the database so we can list them in the user table. I mean, we replace the HTML layout for dynamic data brought from the database to show them all. At this moment, we have 4 users. Let's do it then. For that, I'm going to go to users.php. I'm going to go where the body is, the body of the table is. So these rows I'm printing, I'm just doing it from HTML, but I want to print it from the database. Okay, let's open a PHP tag so we can create the object that will bring the database information. So this object is users, and we are going to ask for controller users with this method ctr show users. This method is already created. It's not. Let me check. Okay, it's not created. Okay, we have to create it. Okay, let's create it here in the at the bottom, and it will be show users. With this method, okay, let's declare it static public function, and it will be ctr show users. It's a method that is going to connect with the model method that is already created. It is called mdl show users, and it's going to give an answer to this method. So we have to bring and ask for parameters, the item and value, because the method needs it and requires it in that method. So let's go to model. These models show users. It works with 3 parameters: the user table to select the table that the user is needing, the item, and the value. So this returns only one row. So I need more than one. I need all the rows the table has. So I can use this, but I will send the item and value as null. So let me do something here. So let's write here item null and value and null. So it will receive them empty. When I need to bring a specific user, I will add I will add a value to item and another value to the value parameter. So this method is going to receive these parameters here, item and value. and parameters I'm going to send to the model, but it's going to be null or empty. So I have to make a filter and ask first if $item is different than null. It means that I just have to return one row because I need to compare a column with the column I have in the database. Okay, this I copied this just to return one row like we are doing it here. In the CTR login user, the item is the column user and the value is what is in the variable post. This is the reason why I'm just sending sending information from these two variables. So if item is null, is not null, we just copy this and we need to select this table users. I don't need anything else. This is the reason why I don't need to link parameters. And I change here in the return to fetch all, so I can bring all the rows. So let's make a bar dump users if it brings everything. So here it is. It's an array with 4 items, 4 indexes. So if I want to print all the information it is uh, in the array, I need to make a for each. So let's say this is the variable users and every item is red. So I have a bar dump. For example, I can put the name ID, for example, the column ID. So it will show all the IDs we have in the database. 1, 2, 4, 7. Okay, for example, I can ask for the name. Let's refresh. So, user admin, Juan Fernando Rego, Julio Gomez, and Ana Gonzalez. It shows the 4 items we have. So, now we can do an echo where we just print one row. And this row is going to repeat 4 times because the for each is according to the quantity of the elements that are inside the array. Okay, if I put this, I have 4 users and I can delete this part and just leave the one inside the for each. Okay, to print the rows that are available. So here I have to put the username. We just concatenate $value name. Then we put the nickname or the username. Now, what happened if, for example, this user doesn't have any picture in its that database? So we have to put a condition here. And we start here and we put a condition if $value in its column photo or the index is printing is uh, empty or is different than empty, it is because there's no picture. So we need to use the default picture. Okay. Oh, sorry. Uh, if it's not empty, we put this. And after the else, so the photo is empty, we print the default image inside this column. So here we have the column with the picture. Okay. Here we will put the profile. So let's concatenate here this profile. Very good. Let's refresh. You see, we have all the users we have in the database. So we just need to do the status and the last login that we can put it now, even if we haven't set it properly. Okay, everything is in zeros, and then we have to put the edit and the delete row that we will check later. Let's enable the option edit users. By now, we are doing it with Anna's profile, that is a seller profile, but later on we will add a profile restriction so only the administrator can access to this view user administration. Only the administrator could create, user, edit, or delete them. But in the meantime, we can do it with any profile that can access to the system. For now, let's do it with Ana Gonzalez, the user I'm logged in right now. The idea is when I click this button with the pencil, it opens a modal box displaying the form with the user's information in each input. Okay. For example, if I click Anna's, okay, right here, in this input, instead of saying write your name, will be written Ana Gonzalez. If I want to change it, I modify it for a new one and I click save user. Or with the username, the password, we won't display the long string we encrypted. We will display the one the user said, and he can modify the password if he wants. And we will display the selected profile or role instead of select profile, but it could be changed anytime. If the photo was set, but you it has to be displayed. But if he wants to change it, it can select the file and save the user to save all the changes. So to do this, we are going to copy this fat pencil, or we can edit this fat pencil and add a data toggle attribute with model from Bootstrap, and now data target, and we are going to create an ID to edit the user so we can open the model box. So we have to create this model that we don't have in our layout. So we can save this or copy this as an example, everything from top to bottom, and we paste it. But we change here, we have to change here edit user, and here too, here too, edit user. So In each every every input we can put edit user. In the name attribute we can change all of this for edit instead of new. If we want to recycle code, we can save the okay, the class. We can save the class, but we can change the name attribute. So we can use all of these in the JavaScript. So this is all set, everything is good, and we can change here modify user. Okay, we are going to comment this. These are the PHP objects that invokes the class and the method that we are not going to use it by now. So in this case, we don't need to put the placeholder. Instead, we need a value, and it has to show the data we need. In this case, we can use a placeholder for the password, and we can put on the placeholder write a new password. Edit profile. Here we can change the select profile, and we can put an ID to this option, and it will be edit profile. So from JavaScript, we can add what profile is using in this moment or is linked with this user. Very good. Let's do that. Let's try the model box. Okay, here it is. Edit user. How can I do this name from the user, the username, the password? No, the password is just going to be write this, and the profile and the picture. So for with this, I'm going to do it with Ajax. Ajax is the action that will help us to connect with the database through JavaScript. So for this, we are going to do the following. So where I'm going to click the model box, we are going to add a class called btn edit user. Okay, and we are going to put a parameter that we are going to pass, and it is id user, and I'm going to pass this value photo and value id in this value id. So I'm going to do this because let me put edit user here with a comment to organize the code, so I can do this. So when I click to the class btn edit user, click function. So we execute this function. I can capture in a variable what's going the on this button in this attribute ID user. Let's try this with a console log. Okay, let's refresh the cache. We select it, we show console, and let's click on this Anna's button. So the Anna's ID is the number 7, the Julio's one is 4, the Jaime is 2, and the user administrator is 1, the ID. So through Ajax, I can connect to the database and bring all the information I need from there. So I put the variable data. So I'm going to instantiate the uh, form data. So I'm going to append a variable post ID user here and here inside the variable ID user. So this is the variable, and the other one is the variable post. So in this case, I'm going to execute the action from Ajax, where the parameters I'm going to pass are the following inside curly braces. So this one is the URL, so I can call the file that we haven't created. So the file is going to be users.ajax.php. The next one, the next property is going to be method. Method is post. The next one is data, is the data we are going to send. Then the cache, that's going to be false. The content type, that is going to be false. The process data, that is going to be false. And the kind of, or the type of data, that is going to be JSON. The success, this is a function. So in the parameter response, we are going to bring whatever is going to be there. So let's console what is going to bring from the database. So now I have to go and create the user ajax.php. So let's save as users.ajax.php. So I need to open a PHP tag, create a class called Ajax, Ajax user. Okay, if you want, you can put caps. And let's open a comment with edit user. With a property public, I'm going to save the ID user, the user ID. So now we have to create another method that when it's executed, I could get this ID user. So let's do the object here from edit user. So edit, it's equal to a new instance from Ajax users, and $sign edit. So it's going to link the property ID user or user ID with the $sign. What is coming from the variable post user ID. And with this, we execute the method Ajax edit user. Method that can't be executed while we're not sending the POS, the post variable. So we need to ask here a statement if the variable post ID user comes with information, we can execute all of this. So we're good. So what's going to happen here inside the method? Inside the method, I can ask for the model or the controller that show me the users. So let's ask for an answer where controller users execute the method ctr show users, and remember that this method is receiving two parameters, item and value. So in this model, if this comes with information, it returns a row with information. So dollar sign item is equal to ID, and the value would be what is inside the ID user. So this is what is coming from ID user ID. So it would be the same here. It has to match. So we have to return an echo, but we have to encode in JSON data. So we put the parameter answer. Now is going to happen something. So I'm working with a class inside user controller, and this class then is going to execute a method that is working with a class from the model user model. So this controller, I have required these methods. I have it here in index.php. So when you're working with JavaScript, it's like you're doing a second petition. So I have to require again. So what do we have to do here? So we have to call it again to require once the model, but from where we are. So we have to go back and then go to the controllers folder and look for users controller.php, and the same with the model. So we change here to models and here to model in singular. So we are recycling a method that already existed that sends the petition to the model, and it returns an information. Okay, when you have to look for this information to match. If it match, you get me all the information. So in the answer, I'm getting all the information from Anna. So where the index 0 is coming the ID, then the name, and so on. Okay, as I'm showing you here. So I can use these by indexes or by properties like name, password, whatever. So the same if I click on another user, as you can see here. So what would I do with this? I go to JavaScript and do the following. For example, I need the name has to be printed in the input. So let me find. So this is the model window, the model box. So I need the name here, edit name. So I create this ID So in JavaScript, I will do this. So where edit name with this ID, I need to get the value or set the value with the answer name. And the same for username and profile. And by now we can do it with these three: username and here with profile. Very good. So in this case, we have to print it in HTML because the profile is an option. So now we can put the ID from edit user. So let's check what happens. And here it is, Ana Gonzalez. And this is the username, Ana, and the profile is a seller. So with this, we can work with the rest of the fields, so we can modify all the other fields in the following video. Continuing with the user edition, we were on clicking on this pencil, and it appears the name of the user, the username, the nickname, okay. The password, it will be blank with write the new password, the profile, what profile is linked, or if you can change it, it must appear the picture. So let's do that because we haven't done it before. So we do this like this: if answer photo, it comes different than empty. So I'm going to ask inside the img tag with the class preview, it replace, okay, let me do this with the class preview, change the attribute source. So we put the answer photo is the one that comes from the database. So let's refresh and click here, and it brings the picture from the database. Okay. So now what happens if I want to save the name without changes, and I'm just going to change the profile, and I'm not going to upload another picture. So when I modify user, you must have you must be careful with PHP, because the action update is not an action that I can dynamically select what field I want to change when I click on the button modify user. I have to modify all the users all the fields I I want to change, uh, even if I'm not changing all of them. I don't know if I'm okay. I'm just showing it. Um, the name, for example, is it may have changes. Maybe the user, the password, the profile, and the pictures. These are the fields that are going to be affected in case, just in case the user wants to change anything. But if the user only changes the name, for example, it's not Ana now, and it is Lucia Gonzalez, but the user is Ana, the password is Anna 123, and the profile is still is seller, and the picture is the same. So the only change is the only field affected is the name, but the other ones are not modified. But however, the update function affects all of them. So I have to save the same information to the fields that are not going to be affected. So if I'm not going to change the password, I need to send in an input the current password, the one that is not going to be modified. So let's go here. Where is the password? I'm going to create another one, another input type hidden. So we put an ID. We can put it current password, current password, and a name, attribute name with the same value, current password. So why am I doing this? Because I can go to JavaScript and I can print in the value the current password that comes from the database. So we change here to val. So we will do it in the value. If I update, if I refresh, uh, apparently you can see the password, but you can see here an input with the value and the encrypted one. So just in case I'm not going to modify the password, so I just put this one that has the encrypted one. And the same has to be with the profile. So if I'm not going to to change the profile, so in the value of the first option, it must be the profile I'm going to leave. So I am going to take this edit profile ID. So I insert it inside the value, just in case I'm not going to modify it. Okay. And the same has to happen with the picture. So if I'm not going to modify these, I have to create another input type hidden with the root with the current picture. Now in ID, I'm going to put current picture as well, and I'm going to JavaScript and I copy and I just put the current picture. I'm going to put here what is going to be in this variable answer photo picture. So he can change anything he wants. He can change anything, but if he doesn't, he will save the current data. Okay, so you see here, so it comes with the value uh, seller. It will send the same value, and the same will happen with the picture. So I have a value here in the input hidden with the source or the root. So now I can generate the action with the PHP that allow me to edit that profile. So let's uncomment here, but we need to change this here to edit user. It's going to instance the controller user, and the method is going to be edit user, ctr edit user. So let's go to the controller And in the controller, I'm going to create a block comment, so called edit user. So this method is going to be similar to create users. So I have to first ask for the variable post edit user, so I can use this method. Then I'm going to, I bring what is going to be modified. So I'm going to make a break match to the information just in case the information comes. So we put this condition here and we change this new with edit. Okay, just in case we change something here. So be careful, if edit password, I'm not going to modify it if I leave it just as it is. The password, we have the current password. So this field is going to be empty. So when it comes empty, it will have a problem with preg match. Okay, the administrator is the only one that can modify the password. So we are going to uh, forget and delete this from here. So we can focus on this edit nickname. If I change that, it could present a conflict because this folder it is depending on the nickname. So maybe the root is going to change, so it will cause conflict here. So it's going to be a trash folder there because that is not going to exist. So the user won't be editable. The only uh, the only uh, the only input, sorry, that will be modified, it will be the edit name. If we are not going to modify this, uh, we just put here like read only. Okay, if I refresh, if I click on Ana Gonzalez, I can't modify the username, just the name. This is a good practice, so we don't look for trash in our database. Okay, so let's do something. Validate uh, the the image like when the user is registered. If the picture comes, the current picture comes, so the variable root is going to take this variable post with the current picture. So here we have it in this way. So in the variable post, uh, current picture is going to take the root if it's not modified. So if I want to change it, so I need to do the same as I did when I create the user. So I will use uh, this thing. So we copy all of this when we create the user, and we paste it here. But the difference will be this variable $sign files. We need to change it to edit photo. Okay, and the folder is going to be the same, edit user. But in this case, if we are going to change the picture, we have to ask if exists any image in the database. So it doesn't generate extra files, and we can do it like this. If the variable post is different than empty, so we use the method empty, or the function empty. So if this comes different than empty, so we delete with this we have to delete this file. So we use onLink. So in this case it will be 908. So onLink helps to delete this file. So if current picture comes with information, it has to delete this root. If it doesn't come empty, okay, if photo actual, I can create, if photo actual, it doesn't, it is coming with information, we have to create the directory or the folder. Okay, so in this way I'm checking if the user has already a picture. um, we need to delete that and create a new one. So if it doesn't have, we need to create the folder. Okay, we just validate the JPEG, and this one with PNG. So we have to change these values, or this variable post with edit user. Very good. So with this, I'm just doing it right so the picture can be updated. So the same we did here in the top area. So we need to copy that and we put it here. And then if I'm going to change the password, if edit password, I'm having here, it comes with information, so different than empty. So it means that I'm going to change the password. So let's set a password. If the variable post edit password, I need to edit the new password I'm going to create. So if it's different than empty, so here I can do the preg match that I didn't have in the uppercase, in the top area, sorry. So to validate that it doesn't have any special characters. So let's change here, edit password, and copy here and paste it here. So in this way, we can encrypt the new password. Okay, be careful. If the preg match comes with error, so we put an else. So with an echo, we can tell the user that the password can be empty or come with special characters. Okay, so it goes inside the condition edit password. So what happens if edit password comes empty? We put an else, So encrypt, it's equal to current password, that is the password that is already in there in the database. So with this we can send the data to our model. So we have this array with name, user, password, profile, and picture with the variable ruta. So if the picture doesn't change anything, so if it doesn't, just put it that way with the current picture. So let's ask for an answer with the method model MDL edit user. So if this is okay, if the answer is okay, uh, we put the message the user has been modified. So here before this, okay, after this we need to put an else. So the name can't be empty or go with special characters. Okay, this is for the name. We open here again, and we have all the controller here ready. And we go to the model. So let's create the method edit user, where we receive the parameters, table in data, and this method is going to generate a connection with the database. So in this case, it's going to put the sentence, SQL sentence with update with in the table with these fields that, so where user is matching with the user that I'm going to have with the database, the one I'm sending and the one I have in there. Okay. Okay, in this case I have to change this for param string. If this executes uh, with no error, so we return okay, or if it doesn't, we return error, and we close the connection and put a null. So let's check, let's refresh. Okay, for example, we can change the password. So this will be Julio 456, and I want to change the profile to special. We're not going to change the picture, and we'll modify. So the user has been edited or modified correctly. So now the password is encrypted. We can do that with one 456, or I don't know, whatever, and we can put this picture, and this has been modified. Okay, this profile has changed, so I refresh, and one has um, the password encrypted. So now we just admin, we just delete that. So the password admin, and we put this, and we modify, and the user has been modified correctly, and everything has changed, and all of them has the encrypted password. There's a little detail we have to modify on the updating picture process. If I modify the name, the profile, or the password, but I don't modify the picture, the system is deleting it anyway. Is deleting the file from the folder. Look that inside the folder I don't have Anna's picture nor Julio's picture. Why is this happening? This happens because I am sending the attributes name with the variable edit picture even if it doesn't have any attached picture or anything in the input type file. So when sending that, it is evaluating here that the variable is coming. This variable $sign files is set. The system recognizes that that variable coming. Let's delete it. Delete the picture that is inside photo actual picture, even if I haven't uploaded any temporal file. To avoid this problem, we can do it easily. We ask if this variable this variable comes different than empty. So we create another condition where we ask if it's different to empty. We open and close parentheses. Everything that comes in the variable files edit photo temp file. In this way, we avoid deleting the file if the temporal name comes empty. Let's try. I'm going to change the password to Juan Fernando Urrego to Juanito, but I'm not going to change the picture. So this input will be empty. If I click modify user, it must have deleted the picture when refreshing the page, but looks, there's the picture. I delete cache and the picture is still there, and I go to the folder and the picture is still there. It wasn't deleted. If I delete this condition for you to understand, I change the password again for Juanito. Okay, modify. When I refresh the page, the picture disappears. It doesn't exist in the folder, in Juan's folder. So it is important to make this change. So I go back. Okay, Control Z, and here is the statement asking for something that is different to empty. Let's update again the pictures of our users. So for Juan is this one, modify the user. Okay, here is presenting a problem because I have stated that this file is required. So we have to delete this because we will need to change. So we update and refresh, and we select the picture and modify user, and we close. And here is the new picture. We have the picture for Julio, modify, and the same for Anna, which is this, and modify. Very good. We have solved this problem of the picture. We are going to activate the status of the user.